At 9:27 a.m. on December 13th, 1943, Second Lieutenant Philip Adair pulled his Curtiss P-40N Warhawk into a climbing turn over Assam, India. 64 Japanese aircraft appeared through the morning haze 3 miles east, heading directly for Dinjan Airfield. Adair, 23, had flown 43 combat missions with the 89th Fighter Squadron protecting the Hump airlift. But this morning, he was the only pilot airborne. In the past 8 weeks, Japanese raids had destroyed 47 transport aircraft and killed 112 personnel across northeast India. His P-40, nicknamed Lulu Bell and marked with number 44, carried 6.50 caliber Browning machine guns and enough ammunition for about 12 seconds of continuous fire. The enemy formation consisted of 24 Mitsubishi Ki, 21 Sally bombers, escorted by approximately 40 Nakajima Ki 43 Oscar fighters, arranged in layers above and below the bomber stream. Intelligence reports indicated that similar-sized raids in Burma had achieved 90% hit rates on undefended airfields. Below him, Dinjan Airfield housed 14 C-47 transport aircraft loaded with critical supplies for Chiang Kai-shek's forces in China, a field hospital treating 63 wounded soldiers, and fuel stocks enough for 11 days of Hump operations. If the bombers reached the field unopposed, the damage would cripple Allied supply operations over the Himalayas for weeks. The nearest friendly fighters were 38 minutes away at their base in Jorhat. Adair checked his fuel gauge. Full internal tanks, 180 gallons, roughly 90 minutes of flight at combat power. The Japanese formation was 3,000 feet below him, moving at 240 miles per hour toward the airfield. Standard doctrine called for fighter pilots to wait for reinforcements when outnumbered more than 5 to 1. Adair had 64 to 1 odds. He could radio for help and shadow the formation until support arrived. But by then, the bombs would already be falling. He pushed the throttle forward. His Allison V-1710 engine responded immediately, manifold pressure climbing to 54 inches. The P-40 accelerated to 320 miles per hour. He positioned himself 4,000 feet above the bombers, coming from the south with the sun behind him. The Japanese pilots hadn't spotted him. Their attention was forward on the target. He planned his attack vector, hit the lead bomber formation first, ignore the fighters initially, break their bombing accuracy, make them scatter, force them to abort the run. The lead Sally bomber group flew in tight formation, 6 aircraft arranged in 2 Vs of 3. Adair rolled inverted, pulled the nose down, and dove at the bombers from their 7 o'clock high position. His airspeed built rapidly to 380 miles per hour. At 800 yards, he opened fire. His tracers arced toward the lead bomber's left wing, tearing fabric, sparking metal. The bomber's port engine erupted in flames, black smoke pouring from the cowling. The formation broke, scattering left and right. Adair pulled up hard, 7 Gs crushing him into the seat, and rolled right. 40 Oscar fighters dived toward him. The Nakajima Ki 43 was one of the most maneuverable fighters in the Pacific Theater, exploiting turning circles tighter than any American fighter. The P-40's heavier frame lost energy in turns, but its speed allowed hit-and-run tactics. Adair couldn't flee. If he did, the bombers would reform and complete their attack run on Dinjan. The first 4 Oscars came at him from 10 o'clock high. He rolled left, pulled up, fired a 2-second burst, missed, reversed, diving away to maintain speed. 2 more dived from above. 600 rounds across 6 guns were all he had. Behind the fighter screen, the Sally bombers tried to reform. 3 groups of 6 aircraft were closing into formation. If they achieved their V again, they would bomb the airfield. He had roughly 90 seconds. Adair dove at the bombers again, 8 Oscars in pursuit. The P-40 accelerated to 405 miles per hour. The Oscars couldn't match that speed. He pulled out at bomber altitude and opened fire on the right-hand Sally formation. His rounds hit the lead bomber's right engine, igniting it. The bomber rolled, streamed fire and debris. Its wingman broke formation. Adair kicked rudder, fired at another Sally. The Ki-21 had no armor for the crew, no self-sealing fuel tanks. Designed in 1936, it was obsolete by 1943, but could still carry over 2,000 pounds of bombs capable of destroying the airfield. 12 Oscars closed in again. Fuel gauge showed 162 gallons. Ammunition counter read 650 rounds. The bombers were 19 miles from Dinjan, perhaps 4 minutes from release. Engine temperature hit 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Redline was 250. He had 3 options: reduce power and abandon attack, or keep going and risk engine failure over enemy territory. He kept the throttle forward. 2 Oscars approached head-on, closing speed over 600 miles per hour. He fired at 500 yards, .50 caliber rounds, hitting the left fighter's engine cowling. The Oscar broke left, trailing coolant vapor. Its wingman followed. Adair dove. Coolant temperature climbed to 240 degrees. Bombers were 15 miles out, still a threat. 2 formations of 6 bombers each reformed. 6 Oscars tried to intercept. Adair dove past them at 390 miles per hour, too fast for them to follow. He leveled out at bomber altitude, fired at the lead Sally, hitting its wing root. The wing failed, folded, and tore away. The Sally spun inverted. No parachutes. Crew rode it down. The formation scattered, bombing accuracy destroyed. Adair pulled up, coolant gauge at 248, engine rough. 8 Oscars dived from above. 7.7 millimeter rounds tore into his right wing. Right aileron went mushy. Green coolant sprayed the windscreen. Smoke erupted from the cowling seams. Oil pressure dropped to 0. The Allison was dying. He chopped the throttle. 1,000 feet per minute descent became 1,500. Then the engine caught fire. Standard procedure: shut down and bail out. Altitude only 8,000 feet, 12 miles from friendly territory over Japanese-controlled jungle. He kept the engine running, manually leaning the fuel mixture. Nose came up, descent slowed. At 1,200 feet, leveled inverted at 140 miles per hour. Climb was slow, 50 feet per minute. Fuel starvation returned. Roll right side up, nose dropped. P-40 descended 600 feet per minute. Flip, climb, flip, descend, flip, climb. 6 Oscars circling above watched the impossible display. American pilot with burning engine and damaged controls refused to die. 1 Oscar dove to investigate. Adair rolled inverted to gain altitude, then rolled upright directly at the fighter. The Oscar broke away. The Japanese didn't engage. Adair turned southwest toward Naguli, 21 miles away, 11 minutes if engine held. Fuel 83 gallons. Oil pressure 0. Engine running on friction and remaining oil film. Coolant gauge melted. Smoke still pouring. He spotted the airfield at 5,000 feet. landing gear hydraulic, engine minimal power. He pulled the manual pump 28 strokes. Gear extended. Airspeed fell to 135 miles per hour. 7 miles from runway. Carbon monoxide and negative G effects closing in. Flaps up, landing without them, higher speed, 4,000-foot runway. Possible but dangerous. 2 miles out, engine quit. Prop windmilled. Glide ratio 6:1. Runway 2 miles ahead. He rolled inverted, descending at 500 feet per minute, better than prior 700. Perspective disorienting. Vision red at edges. Gear down, inverted, approaching Naguli. 1 mile from runway, rolled upright. Damaged aileron pushed right wing down, countered with left stick. Nose high, wings wobbling. P-40 hit runway at 90 feet altitude. 7G impact, right gear collapsed, wingtip dug in. Aircraft ground looped 180 degrees. Sparks flying, stopped 200 feet from threshold. Smoke billowed. Adair climbed out, legs buckled. Ground crew reached him. Allison engine destroyed. 16 bullet holes fuselage, 7 right wing, 4 left, right aileron severed, hydraulic punctured, electrical cut. P-40 would never fly again. Dinjan Airfield saved. All 24 Sally bombers turned back without dropping ordnance. Philip Adair, P-40 Warhawk, December 13th, 1943, faced an overwhelming Japanese formation over Assam, India. At 9:27 in the morning, 64 enemy aircraft approached Dinjan Airfield. 23-year-old Adair was the only fighter in the sky. His Curtiss P-40N, nicknamed Lulu Bell, held 6.50 caliber Browning machine guns and 12 seconds of sustained fire. Below, 14 C-47 transport planes, fuel depots, and a field hospital carrying 63 wounded men waited, vulnerable. The intelligence briefings had warned him. Previous raids destroyed 47 transports and killed 112 personnel. The fate of Allied supply operations over the Himalayas rested on him. Adair accelerated, pushing the throttle forward. The Allison V-1710 engine roared as the P-40N climbed to 4,000 feet above the lead Sally bombers. The Japanese had not seen him. Ki-21. Sally bombers, arranged in tight formations, moved toward the airfield, escorted by Nakajima Ki, 43 Oscars. Adair rolled inverted, then pulled the nose down, diving from 7 o'clock high. The airspeed climbed 340, 360, 380 miles per hour. Tracers flew from his guns, striking the lead bomber's left wing. Fabric tore, metal sparked, the port engine erupted in flame, black smoke billowing. Formation broke apart, bombers scattered in chaos. Pulling up, Adair felt 7 Gs crush him into the seat. 40 Nakajima Ki, 43 Oscars dived to intercept. The P-40N could not turn as tightly as the lightweight Japanese fighters. Energy management was key. Never turn with the Oscar. Use speed, hit and run. Adair maintained pressure, forcing hesitation. The first 4 fighters came in a loose finger 4 formation. He rolled left, pulled up, fired a 2-second burst. 50 caliber rounds missed. The enemy broke right. Adair reversed, diving to maintain speed. 2 more Oscars came from above. He climbed and fired. No hits. Behind them, the Sally bombers attempted to reform. 3 groups of 6 each tried to regain their V formation. Adair had 90 seconds before bombs would reach the airfield. 8 more Oscars dove after him. Adair accelerated to 405 miles per hour in a dive, faster than the nimble Ki-43s. He lined up on the right-hand sally formation. 300 yards, tracers converged on the lead bomber's engine. The radial engine exploded in a fireball. The wingman broke formation. Adair skidded left, fired at another bomber. Thin fuselage, no armor, no self-sealing fuel tanks. 2,205 pounds of bombs could destroy everything on Dinjan Airfield. 12 more Oscars closed. Adair's fuel gauge read 162 gallons, ammunition 650 rounds. The bombers were 19 miles from the target. He had 4 minutes. His engine started overheating, coolant temperature climbing past 230 degrees Fahrenheit. Adair decided, full throttle, risk engine failure. 2 head-on Oscars closed, closing speed over 600 miles per hour. Both fired at 500 yards. He fired back. His .50 caliber rounds struck the left Oscar's engine cowling. White coolant vapor trailed. The wingman followed. Adair rolled, dove. Coolant temperature hit 240 degrees. Bombers 15 miles from target, still capable of attacking. 2 formations of 6 bombers reformed, 3rd formation scattered. Adair dove past 6, intercepting Oscars at 390 miles per hour, too fast to follow. First burst hit right wing root of lead Sally. Structure failed, plane rolled inverted into a spin. No parachutes, crew went down, bombers scattered, attack disrupted. Adair climbed hard. Engine temperature 248 degrees. Vibration through the stick. Detonation starting in cylinders. 8 Oscars dove from above. 7.7mm rounds tore right wing, fabric and metal damaged. Right aileron mushy. Green coolant sprayed across windshield. Smoke filled cockpit. Allison engine dying. Oil pressure 0. Propeller windmilling. Adair chopped throttle. P-40 descended 1,000, then 1,500 feet per minute. Japanese fighters circled, waiting. Adair had 12 minutes of inverted flight earlier. Now he had to manage engine fire, damaged controls, and a scattered enemy. He rolled, inverted, -1G, pressing him into straps. Blood rushed to head. Nose slowly climbed. Engine sputtered, nearly quit, then caught again at 60% power. Descent slowed. Flip, climb, flip. Inverted glide reduced drag, extended range toward friendly territory. 6 Oscars watched, deciding not to engage. Bombers off course, scattered over 15 miles. Adair started heading southwest toward Naguli, 43 miles away. 11 minutes if engine held. Fuel 83 gallons. Oil 0. Engine running on friction, momentum, microscopic oil film. Coolant dead. Smoke still poured. Naguli runway visible. Landing gear hydraulic. Engine minimal power. 1 mile to runway. Propeller stopped. P-40 gliding 3 miles over jungle. Adair remembered glide training. Inverted flight reduces drag. At 1,800 feet, he rolled fully inverted. Nose came up. Descent slowed. 1,200 feet, inverted flight, 140 miles per hour. Engine coughing, flip upright, fuel fed, descent resumed, flip inverted, climb resumed. Repeating pattern, blood rushing, vision reddening. Oscars backed off, still circling. Adair closed remaining 21 miles to Naguli, using alternating inverted and upright control. Each maneuver calculated to preserve engine and control. The raid broken. Sally bombers scattered. Dinjan Airfield safe. Allied supplies intact. Philip Adair continued maneuvering over the jungles of Assam, the P-40 Warhawk Lulu Bell, trailing smoke and running dangerously hot. every second critical. Philip Adair was in a situation where mistakes cost lives. His aircraft was battered, the engine on the edge of failure, controls barely responsive, yet retreat was not an option. Japanese Ki-43 Oscars and Mitsubishi Ki-21 Sally bombers were still attempting to regroup, and every moment of inaction could mean bombs over Dinjan Airfield, destroying transport aircraft and the field hospital. The P-40 Warhawk, which Adair had flown on dozens of missions, had now become more than a plane. It was an extension of his instincts, testing his skills to the absolute limit. Adair relied on every ounce of his knowledge about flight and aerodynamics. Flying inverted allowed him to conserve fuel, while partial damage to the ailerons and elevator forced constant compensatory maneuvers. Each pass through the bomber formations disrupted their tight V patterns, broke Japanese coordination, and reduced bombing accuracy. The aircraft was pushed beyond limits, engine overheating, oil pressure dropping, yet Philip Adair pressed on, fully aware that every second he remained in the fight saved Allied lives on the ground. Every attack, every dive, every pull-up was a calculated risk, a dance of survival in a World War II air battle. Dinjan Airfield was coming into view, yet the distance still allowed for disaster. The P-40 Warhawk, scarred by bullet holes and structural damage, clung to altitude. Every maneuver, dives, climbs, rolls, was precise. Adair's focus remained on one objective: destroy the bomber formation, protect the airfield, and prevent any Japanese aircraft from completing their bombing run. This was no simple dogfight. It was a mission of strategy and timing, where every decision meant life or death for the soldiers, supplies, and wounded awaiting rescue. Japanese pilots began losing coordination, scattering their bombers, abandoning formation. Philip Adair's pressure had forced them into chaos. His aerial tactics ensured the Sally bombers no longer posed a direct threat, while the Ki-43 Oscars could not maintain pressure. P-40 Warhawk's engines screamed, but Adair kept it in the air, defying mechanical logic. Every damaged control cable, every dented wing, every scorched fuselage told the story of a fighter pilot pushing beyond human limits. Philip Adair had not only disrupted the enemy attack, he had preserved Dinjan Airfield and its crucial supplies. On the ground, Allied personnel at Naguli and Dinjan watched in disbelief. The P-40 Warhawk, trailing smoke and flying erratically, displayed maneuverability that seemed impossible. Philip Adair executed controlled dives, climbs, and inverted maneuvers that stretched the limits of both pilot and machine. He became the embodiment of courage and precision, a single man altering the course of a World War II air battle. One pilot, one aircraft, facing overwhelming odds, had changed the outcome of the mission. Every observer on the ground witnessed the power of skill, instinct, and determination in action. Philip Adair finally directed Lulu Bell toward Naguli Airfield, maintaining altitude despite oil pressure at zero and engine performance barely sufficient. His aircraft was a mosaic of bullet holes and smoke, yet it remained airborne. Each maneuver forced the Japanese fighters to hesitate, unable to predict the next move. The Sally bombers had dispersed, their attack thwarted. Dinjan Airfield was safe. The supplies, the wounded soldiers, the transports, everything remained intact. Philip Adair's mastery of the P-40 Warhawk had rewritten the rules of engagement that day, demonstrating that one pilot's courage could decide the fate of many. The airfield crew prepared for an emergency landing. Adair extended the landing gear manually, using the hand pump and makeshift rig to keep control. Despite failing hydraulic and flap systems, he calculated the glide and approach. The P-40 Warhawk descended with precision, inverted maneuvers helping to control descent and reduce drag. He touched down on Naguli's runway, aircraft skidding, tail wheels striking hard, right gear collapsing. Yet the pilot survived. Smoke still poured from the engine, the fuselage riddled with bullets. Every cylinder showed damage, pistons welded to the crankshaft, coolant system destroyed. Lulu Bell would never fly again, but Philip Adair had saved Dinjan Airfield. Japanese aircraft were defeated, their bombing runs stopped, their formation broken miles from the target. Philip Adair became a symbol of courage, skill, and ingenuity. His P-40 Warhawk might have been lost to history, but the story of one man facing impossible odds, flying a damaged aircraft against overwhelming Japanese forces, endures. The mission demonstrated how training, instinct, and split-second decision-making could change the outcome of a World War II air battle. How many pilots could survive such an onslaught? How many aircraft could endure such punishment and still save lives? Philip Adair did both, proving that heroism in the skies can alter the fate of war.